Boom and zoom is a form of energy fighting where you have potential energy in your altitude and kinetic energy in your speed. In combat, you will always be trading potential energy for kinetic energy and vice versa. For boom and zoom, you either need an energy advantage or you need to create one. And it's also best used by faster aircraft versus slower, better turning aircraft. Boom and zoom uses out-of-plane maneuvers, which are vertical elements added to the horizontal that change your speed but help you retain energy. When you boom, you're converting potential energy into kinetic energy by diving onto a bandit's predicted flight path. And then in the zoom, you're converting that gained kinetic energy in the dive back into potential energy by climbing and setting up for your next boom. Let's look at an example of boom and zoom. This we're continuing from the rope-a-dope situation where we have the albatross as the dope. Okay, so we have the albatross approaching off my left wing, trying to sacrifice more energy for a shot which he doesn't have. So pick the right moment to dive, predict where the bandit is going to go, and then make your move so you can put the most amount of pressure on him. Now we're gaining kinetic energy in this dive. Take our shot, and we roll out and we pull up to regain some potential energy, but we lose kinetic, so we roll back over and we come back down, gain more kinetic, take some shots, and you can just adjust. You can be in lag pursuit here. It allows you to extend out past his turn and then turn back inside it for another shot. It's quite a long one there. Then we use that energy, pull up, climb over the top of him, predict where he's going. We don't have a shot there, so we pull up again, roll over, and then come back down on where he's supposed to be flying. Take a quick shot, roll out, pull up again. Just takes a bit of thinking outside of the box to fly like this, because normally when you're fighting with angles, you're just turning horizontally. You start incorporating a vertical element, it makes it more interesting. Because you're not just following the guy in his tail, hoping for a shot, you're positioning yourself in a way so you end up intercepting where he's going to be at a given time, so you can then take a shot. And even though you aren't strictly behind him the entire time, you are the offensive fighter for the majority of the engagement, as you've seen here. Let's take the last shot. And off go his wings. So you'll be able to see this better in external view. Alright, so we have the albatross below me here. I'm diving down on him. Take the shot, make him maneuver, pull up, regain that energy, and he's just flopping around at the moment. You have to be really gentle when you're doing your maneuvering in order to not bleed excess energy that you don't have to. But just nice smooth climbing turns, and come back down, and then you can take another shot. It's something that takes a lot of practice to do, because you have to be able to recognise the energy state that you have and the energy state that the aircraft you're fighting has. You can judge his energy state by looking at the manoeuvres he's making, if he's climbing or diving, or how fast his turn radius is. They all add up to an energy picture that you can look at, and then you have a good gauge on where he's at energy wise. As you can see, the fight descended very fast because the albatross is energy inefficient in his flying, which forced him to dive to regain energy he bled off. This is different to how I'm flying, because I'm using sweeping climbing turns in lag pursuit that help me retain energy more effectively. So by doing this, I create a large energy disparity between my aircraft and his aircraft that gives me a very large advantage in this fight. You will only have small shooting windows at the start, but if you can make those count, it makes the rest of the fight easier as the pilot gets wounded or the aircraft gets damaged, which means you can get more aggressive as you go along. And that's an example of energy fighting using boom and zoom.